dude, it just feels different outside.
Well, it definitely feels different outside. If not only the temperature, but the humidity. They came back a little bit this weekend, but it looks like cool weather is on the way. I mean, we'll still have that second summer, but it's nice out there. Really going to be great for opening day of dove season on Saturday. And we also got the brand new we call it the early archery season hunt, but it's, I think, whoa.
What happened? Golly.
Hedrick, you've shrunk, man.
I just went from 6'4" to about 5'1".
You look like one of my Mayan fishing guides over
doubt.
there, man.
No doubt.
Wow. I think you need to adjust that chair. We call it the early archery hunt, but hunters are going to go out there and try to find some bucks with some velvet still on the antlers. That's kind of the name of the game for this hunt. So, yeah, everything's cranking up. I got some reports, some folks already shooting some Canada geese during the early season. It opened September 1st on Sunday. So a lot of seasons actually did open Sunday, some urban archery hunts. But things begin in earnest with the unofficial kickoff to hunting season with dove season cranking up Saturday morning. And then a lot of deer hunters that will brave the heat will be out there for the early archery hunt. It's also a great time to go fishing, and we're joined tonight by Arkansas Game and Fish Commission District 5 Assistant Fisheries Biologist Ryan Mozicek. Ryan, what's up, man? How are you?
Thank y'all for having me. I'm doing pretty good.
We're going to talk a little bit with Ryan tonight. A lot of hunting going on, but we're going to talk some fishing with Ryan about some opportunities, often overlooked opportunities in the southern part of the state. Ryan works out of the Monticello office,
yep.
and that office, Lake Monticello, we've mentioned it here on the show, but it's going to be on fire soon.
There's no fish there.
It's already on fire.
Ryan likes to fish it. Ryan not only is a fisheries biologist, but an avid bass angler.
Well, he's starting
too.
to act like Chris Nault. You got a little Chris in you. I mean,
there's only so many parking spots down there. So.
Yeah, you don't want them to get filled up too quickly.
Yeah, don't you have one that has your name on it, like employee of the month?
Reserve for district fisheries biologists only parking for.
Trey has one at his place. It says reserved for the voice of the game and fish.
Yeah, I wish. Like a football coach told me many years ago. And back then, he said that and 50 cents will get you a cup of coffee.
At least a cup of
it
coffee.
takes $5 to get that cup of coffee now.
I feel like I've settled down into some sort of corrective seat.
I'm really.
I'm gonna have to stand.
I don't know. I've probably cursed us. I usually sit here, but I said tonight that I'm feeling like standing. We've got these stand up desks nowadays, and I thought, well, I'll try that on the radio show. So obviously, I've put some kind of bad mojo into the environment here, and now Mark's chair is. It looks like you're at a Japanese steakhouse.
I feel like I am. I feel like somebody's getting ready to start throwing.
Did you take your shoes off at the door?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, are we getting ready to start chopping rice and throwing eggs and stuff like that? I mean, come on.
I mean, we could do it. We could get a Blackstone in here and do it on that, couldn't we?
But yeah, this is very uncomfortable. But there's only really a couple of things you need at a radio station, Trey, and that's one's microphones, that's two chairs. So why start now?
Don't say too much. The microphones could. I mean, you don't want to jinx that.
No doubt.
You don't want to jinx that.
No doubt.
Well, we're going to have a good time talking with Ryan Mozicek from Arkansas Game and Fish tonight. As I mentioned, Ryan, not only a fisheries biologist but an avid angler. We're going to maybe if you don't want to talk about Monticello, we'll talk about some other lakes in South Arkansas that you can tell us where things are hot. White Oak, Erling, Lake Chico. You were telling us in the green room about some good crop of crappie in the nursery pond getting ready to let go down there. Well, stick around. We're going to be talking with Ryan all night. We'll also have our keepers and calls, our outdoor report, tip of the week. Want to get you all ready for hunting seasons opening up on Saturday and give you some pointers on how to use the new app that's going to be in my tip of the week a little bit later on. It's not really, the functionality is not that much different, but I'm told it's going to work a lot better this year. And if you're going out for the velvet hunt, I'm going to make sure you you can use that app properly and get your deer checked even in a remote location. But right now, let's check in with our buddy Philip Kastner from Trader Bill's Outdoors.
It's time for the Trader Bill's Outdoors Fishing Report. With locations in Hot Springs and Little Rock, Trader Bill's is your one stop for all things outdoors.
And as he always is here at about 7:05 on Tuesday nights, Philip Kastner on the Edwards Food Giant Hotline. Philip, what's going on, my man?
Well, the biggest, conversation ever in the state of Arkansas is how the Game and Fish Commission has changed the muzzleloading season with straight wall.
Yep.
Muzzleloaders are still legal. That's the big news. It doesn't matter whether you're going out with a muzzleloader or a straight wall caliber. Everybody is switching. A lot of people are switching to straight wall calibers because it's a cartridge. You don't have to worry about cleaning your gun. You don't have to worry about all the aesthetics of a muzzle loading as much as you do with a straight wall caliber. Trader Bill's Hot Springs has a huge selection.
You say
I'm a purist, Philip. I'm black powder, side lock percussion, and I mean, look, I'm happy for the increased opportunity, but I'm sticking with the muzzleloader, man. And I bet you got straight wall stuff or muzzleloader stuff for us.
A lot of people are sticking with straight wall. 209 primer was a cutting edge. My goodness. The 209 primer was a cutting-edge weapon of the muzzleloader for many, many years. And that's still a great, a muzzleloader is still going to be able to shoot, 150 yards. There's a lot of people that have got their muzzleloader sighted in for 100-plus yards. There's a lot of people that don't, and that's what the straight wall caliber opens up to.
Well, Philip, you and I were talking back in, like February. You were at a show, and you're like, "Man, what are they going to do, Trey? Are they going to have a straight wall season or not?" And we didn't at that time. And I think I told you that if I was a betting man, I would bet that they are. And the commission did approve that. Were you able to, get the gear you needed for Trader Bill's customers ahead of this alternative firearm season?
So, yes, we have. And I disagreed with you at that time because I just didn't think that the Game and Fish Commission would make it legal for the 24 year. They did. Thank you. And yes, Trader Bill's Hot Springs has a big selection of straight wall guns in stock, ammunition, scopes, anything else you might need.
It's people don't realize, but the Game and Fish are about making the outdoors more accessible to more people, and if straight walls will do that and make more people get out and hunt, I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, I think the archery velvet hunt this weekend's another example of that. It's all about opportunity.
Trey's fishes with an old, really pretty much a piece of cane that he ties a little reel on, and then he had.
I'm a hand liner, man. I use an old Miller Lite can and some 8-pound test wrapped around it.
And then he uses just a regular bow like Ben Pearson used to use. I mean, he doesn't use any of that fancy stuff.
Philip, I'm going to come find some fancy stuff. Mark is dogging me. I guess I need to come see you at Trader Bill's, and you get me rigged out with the newest gear, man.
I agree with everything you guys are saying. I really do. Trader Bill's Hot Springs has a big selection of straight wall caliber guns, ammunition, optics, and stock. Anything we can do, help you, please stop.
Thanks, Philip.
You will. Philip, thank you so much, man. Always good stuff. We'll talk to you next week, my friend. That is Philip Kastner on the Edwards Food Giant Hotline from Trader Bill's Outdoors. And whether you need fishing stuff, whether you need hunting stuff.
They've also got a deal going right now in Little Rock. You need to.
They got a boat winterizing deal too.
Early bird special. So you need to get in there 10% off.
Steve in Little Rock on line 1 wants to talk spear hunting. Hold the line. We'll get to you right when we come back. More Wildside coming up.
All About Tire and Brake Tire Pros has been serving the community for more than 15 years. Locally owned and operated, we offer a wide range of name brand tires, wheels, and automotive service you can trust, so your dollars stay in our community. All About Tire and Brake Tire Pros, where customers are treated like family. Service like your daddy used to get. Visit in-store at one of our 2 locations or shop for tires and service online at allabouttireandbrake.com.
Spring and summer may be behind us, but that doesn't mean there's not a good reason to get out to Lake Maumelle to enjoy a day on the water. Trey Reid here from the Wild Side to tell you about West Rock Landing. Our friends at West Rock have everything you need to enjoy a day on the lake. Whether you're fishing for bass or crappie or just taking in the amazing views of the Ouachita Mountains, West Rock offers bait, tackle, boat rentals, and so much more. Check them out at westrocklanding.com or go see them just a few miles west of Little Rock on Highway 10. West Rock Landing, your gateway to Lake Maumelle.
Fly rods, from personal hobby to family passion to family business. That's Fish On Custom Rods. Unique custom fly rods are the namesake, but Fish On Custom Rods also carries premium brands like Thomas & Thomas, Able, Sims, Umpqua, and Airflow. Fish On's commitment to the fishing lifestyle goes beyond the water. Unique artisan wooden charcuterie and cutting boards made right here in Arkansas, outdoor art, and so much more. Check them out at the Painted Tree Marketplace on Chenal or at fishoncustomrods.com.
This month, your lucky number is 7. Strike it rich with the all-new Triple Red 7 scratch-off game from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery. Scratch off 1 7 to win instantly, 2 to double your prize, and 3 to triple your money. You could win the $200,000 top prize, or any part of more than $9 million in total prizes. Play Triple Red 7s, available now at lottery retailers. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
It's fall, and you know that means schools are back in. Oh, and it means football. Friday night lights and action-packed weekend. And Chris Crane Hyundai gets you there in style. You'll save thousands and lower your payments by hundreds. We've stocked up with a huge selection of Venue, Kona, Tucson, Elantras, and more. You gotta check it out.
Right now, get financing as low as 1.9% up to 60 months on new 2024 Hyundais at Chris Crane Hyundai on Museum Road in Conway and online at chriscranehyundai.com. WACC dealer for details.
This is Chris Roberts with Southern Bank. Southern Bank is a 137-year-old community bank with branches across Arkansas, founded on strength and stability. Real community-style banking, local decisions, and friendly staff you know by name, all coupled with competitive deposit and loan rates. From small to large projects, we can handle it all. So what's holding you back? Give us a call at 501-424-0900 or check out our website at bankwithsouthern.com to learn how you can experience the Southern Bank difference today. Member FDIC.
Life isn't just about living, it's about living well. And no one understands that better than Baptist Health. Baptist Health is there to support you in your wellness journey wherever it may take you. They really are so much more than a healthcare provider. They're a true partner coming alongside you to help you live your fullest, healthiest life. From pediatrics to women's health to cardiac care to orthopedics to primary care. They offer the full spectrum of services you need to keep yourself and your whole family healthy, no matter what phase of life you're in. And you can always count on the care you receive at Baptist Health to be exceptional and compassionate. Listen, they're Arkansas's most trusted name in healthcare for a reason. For more than a century, Baptist Health has helped countless Arkansans create the healthy lives they deserve. And I know they can do the same for you. I know from experience the level of commitment they have for their patients. I've been a Baptist Health patient for decades, and I'm always in good hands. Their level of care is exceptional. Remember, life isn't just about living. It's about living well, and no one understands that better than Baptist Health. Ready to take the next step in your wellness journey? Visit Baptist-Health.com. Baptist Health, for you, for life.
Welcome back to the Wild Side on 103.7 The Buzz.
You're back on the Wild Side. Trey Reid and Mark Hedrick with you. Our buddy Damon Poole in the control room as usual. We got Ryan Mozachek from Arkansas Game and Fish. He's a fisheries biologist down in the southeastern part of the state out of the Monticello office. We're going to be talking with Ryan tonight about some places to go fishing, some great stuff happening at Lake Monticello and some other lakes down there. As much information as Ryan is willing to divulge, because he's also an avid bass angler. But no, all kidding aside, he's going to share some great info with us. But first, let's go to line one and talk to Steve in Little Rock, who has a comment or a question about spear hunting. Steve, what's on your mind?
Yeah. With the new regulations and changes that the commission made this year, I see that, and I think I heard you talk about it on another radio program about spear hunting is now legal. And I just wondered if you had ever talked to anybody that had actually killed a deer with a spear. And if not, if someone does actually do it this year, would you try and interview the guy? I would like to know if he looks like Grizzly Adams or if he just
he's actually the Olympic gold medalist in the javelin.
No doubt.
Now, Steve, I have not personally talked to anybody. There was when this proposal came out back in February or March as part of the regulations process. There was a gentleman from, I want to say he was from Illinois, that came in. He was from out of state though, and kind of made a presentation to the commission. And I have not talked to anybody, but Steve, you have the commitment from Mark and I here that if we can leverage a successful deer hunter with using a spear this year, we'll try to get him on the show and ask him how it was.
No doubt.
Okay.
No
I
doubt.
appreciate it.
All right, Steve. Thanks for the call, man. Take care. Yeah, that's it'll be interesting to see if someone, I guess this will be technically an urban archery hunt. I guess you could have used it, or I don't know. Do you have to show your proficiency with it like you do with a bow and arrow for the urban archery hunt?
Or do you, I mean, if you're fishing with a spear, do you just sit on your front porch, sharpening a big stick? Is that what you're doing?
No.
Or does it have to have?
I think really what people do primarily is you draw a deer to right underneath your stand, and you use the weight of the spear to just drop it, and
spear a concrete block up there.
Well, because it's not a spear, and that a concrete block is not an acceptable piece of archery equipment,
I guess,
like a spear is.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just, that doesn't sound like much fun to me. But I will tell you, I'll interview him.
Yeah, I'll get him on the show.
I mean, what if he jumps out of the tree with the spear?
Even better. I'd say.
That'd be a great
even
interview.
better.
That'd be a great interview.
Well, let's interview Ryan Mozechek right now. Yeah. Ryan, you are a fisheries biologist down out of the Monticello office, an avid angler, and we were joking about Lake Monticello, but man, it's coming back from a renovation. Arkansas Game and Fish doing some pretty exciting things there, stocking-wise, habitat-wise. Tell us what's going on there and why you're so excited about its potential.
Yeah, so the lake's only been refilling for about 2.5 years. It's about 4.5, 5 foot from being full, and future's looking really bright in the lake. Talking with some of the biologists that have worked there previously, these fish are the fattest that they've ever seen in their career. We've got 2-year-old fish that are pushing 5 pounds that are only 17.5, 18 inches.
I've seen pictures.
Didn't somebody do like a human body mass equivalent would be like, it would be like a 700-pound human or something?
Yeah,
right?
they are. Monticello is basically a really big Chinese buffet, and they are all sitting at it.
What is it? I mean, explain why we're seeing those phenomenal growth rates. I mean, I remember fishing it. Being a Pine Bluff native, when it was built in the 90s and mid to late 90s, it was awesome. I mean, it was good even after that. But what is it? I mean, what is it about that lake?
Yeah, so it's not necessarily just that lake, particularly, but anytime you have a new reservoir that's either been renovated or built, you always have what they call the new lake effect, and so. You have, in Monticello's case, the lake was dry for so many years. You've got pine trees and a lot of vegetation that's grown up. Water refilled the lake. You have a huge boost of nutrients. So that starts at the bottom of the food chain, works all the way up. So you've got, your forage fish that are good and healthy. Those were stocked in Monticello for a year before we ever put any sport fish in it. So we hit the ground running with a successful food base.
And they're spawning like crazy, and
brim and crappie,
kicking off forage fish,
threadfin shad, fathead minnows. So there's a lot of different stuff in there for them to eat.
And in May, Arkansas Game and Fish did something truly unprecedented, never been done before down there.
Yeah, so they reached out to, I believe it was the Red Hills Hatchery in Georgia. Got what they call their Titan Max bass, which was basically just a crop of selected fingerlings from
genetically, I guess you'd say genetically targeted.
Yeah. They're not genetically modified organisms.
No,
they are basically this place, through some proprietary method that they don't want to share, has figured out enough about the sequence of a large enough Florida strain, a Florida bass genome, because it's a separate species now, and can identify like the spots where signal that they're going to grow.
Yeah,
and
they put 22,000 in the lake, I believe. Are going to put 22. I think just
22,000.
Yeah.
And but it's one of these deals where they're hoping for
So
the biggest bass I've ever seen came out of Monticello.
I've heard Jeremy Risley say that our bass program coordinator at Game and Fish, say that he wouldn't be surprised if the next state record comes out of there.
Well, seriously, my buddy Johnny Lewis caught one that I'm telling you was pushing 14, maybe more, with Jay and my son and myself. We saw it, got pictures of it, and he released it, and that was back in the heyday. I expect to see something.
It's going to be amazing, man. All the demonstrated growth rates just from the regular Florida bass fingerlings that are in there, and then you throw in these Titan Max that are genetically superior growers, and boy,
like you and me,
right, Mark, right? Except when you sit in a low slung chair. Hey, stick around. More Wild Side coming up.
Trader Bill's Outdoors is the one-stop shop for all your fishing and boating needs. They carry Vexus bass boats, Godfrey pontoons, and Taiga surf, wake, and ski boats. Their marine department also features parts and accessories from most boat manufacturers. And if something goes wrong with your boat, their service department is ready to get you back in the game with quality repairs and friendly service. Trader Bill's Outdoors, 1530 Albert Pike in Hot Springs and 12006 I-30 Frontage Road in Little Rock, where great fishing and boating began.
I'm Trey Reid from the Wild Side on 103.7 The Buzz, and when I'm looking for a great home-cooked lunch on the fly, my go-to spot is the deli at my neighborhood Edwards Food Giant. There's always a great selection of delicious meats and vegetables, fresh from the kitchen and served with a smile by the friendly folks behind the deli counter. You'll get heaping portions with cornbread or a dinner roll and a drink to wash it down, all for under $9. For home cooking without the hassle of washing dishes, go see our friends at Edwards Food Giant.
Hey folks, Mark Hedrick here to tell you about Battery Outfitters in North Little Rock. They're here to serve your battery needs, from cell phones to hearing aids to power tools. And when it comes to service, Battery Outfitters is second to none. Got a problem with your truck or your boat battery? Just pull in at 5915 JFK Boulevard and the Battery Outfitters crew will handle the rest. And don't forget to ask about Key Fob Friday and watch Battery Saturday. You'll be glad you did. Battery Outfitters, 501-537-4990 for all your battery needs.
Some vehicles are simply made. Cadillac vehicles are made to be iconic. And whether that's being made to be vibrant in a Cadillac EV, made to be epic in a luxurious SUV, or made to be thrilling with the performance of our dynamic sedans, Cadillac is always made to be bold. So this summer, be bold. Experience the summer sales event going on now. Visit Parker Cadillac today.
Charged with a crime? Hire the Lions. There's no one better to protect your pride than our pride of Legal Lions. Exceptional communication and exceptional results in both the negotiating room and the courtroom. Lion Legal, the legal pride of Arkansas. Call 227-ROAR and Lion Legal will come roaring to the rescue.
For 54 years, you've trusted Sigma Supply for all your packaging and shipping needs. And now, as part of Brady Plus, they've got even more to offer. From janitorial supplies, facility essentials, and food service disposables, Sigma Supply has you covered. And ordering is a breeze with over 50,000 new products online at sigmasupply.com. And do not forget to call sales manager David Breitenberg at 1-800-264-1661 and ask for the Buzz discount. Remember, if you're not using Sigma Supply, you've got low-grade product, man.
On your way to the Little Rock Airport this morning, you want secure parking and fast. At Expressway Airport Parking, our lot is well lighted and has 24-hour security. Only customers and employees can enter the gate. Your car and you are safe from thieves. And if you return to a dead battery or a flat tire, we're there to get you back on the road. Pay less than municipal airport parking at Expressway Airport Parking. Left of the airport entrance next to the Comfort Inn.
At Capital Technology Group, we make your technology our priority. Our team of experts can become your outsourced IT department, solving problems even before you know about them. We provide and maintain everything from servers and network infrastructure to printers and digital copiers. As a family business with over 80 years of history in Little Rock, you can trust Capital Technology Group to be your business technology partner. If you're ready to get your IT in order, visit captg.com and sign up for a free consultation.
The Wild Side Outdoor Report is brought to you by West Rock Landing, your gateway to fishing and fun on Lake Maumelle.
Take it away, Hedrick.
Well, yesterday I was out at, West Rock Landing at Lake Maumelle visiting Chelsea, and Cindy and I went out there for a cold drink and a frozen Snickers, and we hung around till about 2:30 and just we're getting ready to close up. We get a call from somebody in the bank that capsized their boat, so we got to go out and do a water rescue yesterday. And nobody hurt, thank goodness. Josh Jeffers came out and checked things out too. He's with the state parks. Larry Romine and Daniel happened to see it, so they kind of got over and got the boat. We got the guys, pulled the boat over, dumped the water out, towed it back in. Everything turned out well. But it just goes, small boats, 15-foot boats, don't have a lot of horsepower on them, flat bottoms. Got to be really careful out there when the wind's blowing.
Yeah, well, good for you, man. Good job.
And
man.
today there's a couple of guys I saw out there. I went out to visit Eric Watts with Natural State Fishing Guide, and he'd just come in with a nice limit of crappie. A couple of kayakers were going out. They're out there kayaking around. Got to tell you, read that sign that says what's allowed and what's not allowed. Because
kayaks west side of the Highway 10 bridge.
Yeah. You don't want to have to come up with extra money every month to pay your kayaking fines. AGFC recently stocked, this is great, 658,000 fingerling threadfin shad in the Greers Ferry Lake. In May, 3,760 adult shad were put in the lake, brood stock, and in the Greers Ferry Nursery Pond. And on 8/21, they released it, and so both adult and fingerling shad are down the lake. So they need that. They had a pretty tough time. I think back in 2012, they had a lot of shad die off in that lake.
Yep, that's exactly right.
This is kind of trying to, keep the lake.
Yeah, and I would also note that Game and Fish hasn't stocked a hybrid in that lake since then either.
They hadn't stocked one since this morning.
No, they haven't put any hybrids in Greer since that shad population was down. They've been stocking heavily on the forage fish base, like you just mentioned.
But the deal is too, hybrids. Once you catch those hybrids and take them home,
you take them home. They don't magically reproduce anymore.
If you're mad at hybrids,
they don't reproduce at all in the lake.
So if you're mad at hybrids, go out and catch you some hybrids. Take them home. Winners of the Great Southern Stone Skipping Championship. $2,500 were raised for the Arkansas Food Bank. Trey, that's over 12,000 meals. So I want to give a shout-out to those guys.
Yeah, good job.
You can check out the new inductees in the Scroll of Skippers.
Scroll of Skippers, they call it.
On their Facebook page. And listen, they had a skipper from Scotland. That's not easy to say. And he was the reigning Scottish champ, if I'm not mistaken.
He likes to throw rocks in the locks.
Yeah, I like it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm here all week, folks.
God, that was awesome. I do like that. And then they also had a guy, I believe it was somebody from Germany, come over. So we had some international skippers. The wind was bad. You didn't get near as many skips as you were going right in. If they said for the first time you're throwing into actually like little white caps up on the lake. When you get white caps
I would think, if you could time the skip just right.
Yeah,
but they're all about numbers, not distance. So the waves, the ripples could help you with distance, but not with the number of skips.
Yes, and just a little something. Deer Day 2024 is at Bass Pro Shop, September 28th, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Yeah, we're going to have Ronnie Ritter in here to talk about that in a couple weeks.
Give a little bit of that. And there's also a Bahio Bass Team Tournament, September 28th, Lake Hamilton in Hot Springs. Register at Trader Bill's on Friday, 9/27. Don't have a whole lot of information. Melinda Mize will get with us and let us know some stuff. Maybe we'll get her to call in and fill us in on some stuff. And like I said earlier, Trader Bill's time to winterize. You worked at Trader Bill's out there for a while.
Yeah, I did.
And,
a year.
Yeah, so you could get groceries to eat.
Mostly buy fishing stuff.
Yeah, that's it.
You work there for the discount.
Yeah. And they're great folks. It's fun out there, but 10% off early bird winterization. So that's the last thing I wanted to bring up was the National Professional Fishing League. Trey, I'm sure you've heard of these folks.
Yeah.
They are banning live scope for 2025. We've heard a lot of folks really.
Well, I thought the internet was going to break when you posted that bit of news.
Well,
at least the bass fishing portion of the internet.
And I just got live scope, so I'm the kiss of death. This is the reason it happened. But
so much for your dreams of the National Professional Fishing Tour.
Yeah, but here's the deal. I don't know if you ought to be using it in the tournaments itself. I'm kind of one of these guys that thinks, well, if you go out and if you go out and pre-fish with it and use it as a tool to help find fish, then during the tournament, it's all turned off. I think that might be one way to do things.
Well, yeah,
it's hard to police.
I noticed
though.
somebody, and just to reset things, we're talking with Ryan Mozechek from Arkansas Game and Fish District Fisheries Biologist, and we're going to get back to talking to Ryan about fisheries in South Arkansas. But he's also an avid angler, so just if he wants to weigh in, jump in here.
And the other thing is we're always talking about getting youth more involved in fishing in the outdoors. Well, this is something that a lot of young kids So the problem is it's so cost prohibitive, and I think that's another deal.
That's a big thing.
What do you think?
Well, and the interesting thing is in a lot of these tournament trails, when the Alabama rig first came out, it was almost seen as cheating. Yeah. And then they banned the Alabama
BASS
rig.
Banned it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they banned the Alabama rig.
In elite competition. Yeah,
the elite series. So now you ban the Alabama rig, but then live scope comes in, and it's I would argue a much more effective tool at catching fish.
There's no question.
Sure, yeah.
So I'm not too surprised that this is.
We get into we could go back into the early 20th century and talk about the advent of repeating firearms as opposed to bolt actions or double shotguns. And where's the line? How arbitrary is it? And what is the effect on the resource? What is the effect on the users of the resource? And I think so far in Arkansas we have not seen a huge effect on the resource, although it's clearly a concern of a lot of people based on the calls that we get here on this radio show.
I will tell you, bass fishing is one thing. I mean, if you've got a 5 limit fish on bass, I mean, if you go to BASS, I don't care if you catch 50 fish, you're only going to get to keep 5 in a tournament. If you go out on a weekend and you target crappie, you can load a boat with crappie. I mean, if you got 3 guys in a boat, you can take home 90 crappie. And I mean,
well, we saw Mississippi just made some regulations on some of their big crappie lakes, like Grenada and Ross Barnett, related to that.
And we're kind of waiting on Ben. Hadn't gotten the data back. He was waiting for some data from biologists to see.
You're talking about Ben Batten, Deputy Director at Arkansas Game and Fish.
Thank you. And so he's gonna come on the show.
Yeah,
with some data.
Look, I don't want to bog down our talk with Ryan about fisheries in South Arkansas, but it is interesting, and it's been. Somebody brought up on the Wild Side Facebook page, which if you're not watching the show there or elsewhere, you can see my the squirrel cook-offs this weekend, Mark, and I'm wearing my Luchador squirrel shirt. Right. So jump on the Buzz live view if you can. Now, somebody brought it up on the Facebook that how do you were talking about like using it during practice days, but then it's like, how do you disable it? I mean, how do you
police it?
That's what I'm saying. How do you have to pull the screens off the boat? Do you have to take the train? I mean, what's the?
And then what does that do to the rest of your electronics? I mean,
how do you make the restrictor plate rule that NASCAR has for bass fishing?
I know if I turn my HDS 12 off up front, it turns my HDS live off.
Yeah.
And so then I guess I can, once I turn that off, that goes off. But then I need that graph to run. So when I turn it back on, HDS Live comes back on. So to undo one of them, you open a can of worms, because what does it do to the rest of the equipment?
Yeah.
When you unplug one, so you're gonna it's going to be a whole new way to set things up.
Can't speak for everybody, but when you get live scope up front, it pretty much makes down imaging and 2D sonar obsolete. So there's a lot of people that are only running live scope up front.
Correct. Yeah, that's a great point.
So, and I was going to do that myself, and then I thought, no, I'm going to keep the others so I can, because I'm used to looking at.
So when you decide that you want to come back, away from the dark side,
I got to tell you though, to triangulate, people just don't get triangulation nowadays. I mean, you go out and you pick a tree, you pick a point, you line them up, and then you find 22 feet of water, you hang a left, and there it is. 28 feet brush pile. People don't do that anymore. What they do is they drive past somebody, hit their GPS as they're going by at about 30. They go over 150, 200 yards, however far it was they passed somebody next time, turn their live scope on, just start scanning, put it on scout mode, boom, they found it.
Yep.
So it's a whole different ballgame.
Well, we need to do a whole show about it. I mean, we ate up a segment talking about it tonight, and when we come back from this break,
do you like it or not like it?
You're putting my man on the spot.
I like it, but there's also days where I don't like it. So.
Wait, because you see the fish you
It's
can't catch.
frustrating. You see more fish that you can't
That's one of the
catch,
first
so-
things Mark said when he went out the first time. He's like, I don't think I like it, man.
I hate it.
Just not be good enough at it. But.
No, I was trying to soften it a little bit for you there, Mark.
But I'm liking it better.
Well, it's an interesting tool and an interesting debate for sure. And I'm sure these are not the last words that will be spoken on the Wild Side Radio show about forward-facing sonar. But they are tonight because we're moving on unless somebody wants to call and talk about it. We're going to talk more with Ryan
is not
Mosechek.
for the Wild Side. That's another
All right.
station.
We'll be back right after this break.
Mark Hedrick here from the Wild Side to tell you about our friends at West Rock Landing on Lake Maumelle. I've been fishing Maumelle for decades, and even though I've learned a few things about catching fish on the lake through the years, I've also learned that it all starts at West Rock Landing. If you're looking for a place to hold your next bass tournament, our friends at West Rock are ready to help you take care of the details. Their covered deck is perfect for weigh-ins. They can also set you up with a boat rental for a day of fishing or a day of just enjoying the views and the area's wildlife. Go see them today. West Rock Landing, your gateway to Lake Maumelle.
If you're a fly fisher and outdoor enthusiast who can't get enough, Fish On Custom Rods shares your focus. Fish On started out crafting custom rods with beautiful hand-turned wooden reel seats, but their commitment to quality artisan products and the outdoor lifestyle has turned a family passion into much more. Thomas & Thomas fly rods, Able reels, unique custom rods, and incredible handmade artisan wood products like charcuterie boards. Celebrate the fly fishing life with gear and gifts from Fish On Custom Rods. Learn more at fishoncustomrods.com.
All About Tire and Brake Tire Pros has been serving the community for more than 15 years. Locally owned and operated, we offer a wide range of name brand tires, wheels, and automotive service you can trust, so your dollars stay in our community. All About Tire and Brake Tire Pros, where customers are treated like family, service like your daddy used to get. Visit in store at one of our 2 locations or shop for tires and service online at allabouttireandbrake.com.
Life comes at you fast, especially behind the wheel. So if you think it's no big deal to drive a little over the speed limit, think again. In a collision with a pedestrian or bicyclist, it can mean the difference between life and death. Getting somewhere a couple of minutes faster isn't worth someone's life. Let's look out for each other by following posted speed limits. Drive aware, save lives. A message from the Arkansas State Police Highway Safety Office.
And now, another life lesson from Craig O'Neill, the carpool lane. Ever figured out how much total time you spend in the carpool lane at your kid's school? You want to shorten it? Get a Genesis GV80 from Genesis of Conway. So sleek and engineered for perfection, you get a STEM education just looking at it. The school staff will be so taken with it, you'll get bumped up to the head of the carpool lane every school day. Exaggerating? Yeah, but this isn't Genesis of Conway, where you get the future of luxury today.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did. Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
For auto, home, life, or business insurance, contact Nick Gennardi in Sherwood or Seth Hobbs in Bryant.
If you're sick of this election already, the back and forth, the mudslinging, and hearing about why this person is right for you, know this, the payroll company is tired of it too. That's why they're offering Election Payroll Relief. 2 whole months of payroll for free. Plus, new customers will get 50% off setup fees. This offer is good now through November 5th. Finally, a reason to get excited about an election year. The Payroll Company. Less headaches, more than payroll. Visit morethanpayroll.com.
If you've ever stood overlooking a bluff on Pettigene, floated the Buffalo, taken a leisurely drive through miles of Delta farmland, or even witnessed a brilliant sunset from your own backyard, you know Arkansas is full of beauty. Naturally, that leaves no room for trash. Get litter out of the picture and keep Arkansas in its natural state, clean and green. Visit keeparkansasbeautiful.com to learn more. A message from this station, the Arkansas Broadcasters Association, and the Keep Arkansas Beautiful Commission.
I'm a real wild one. Wild one. Wild one. Wild one.
It's time for this week's Keepers and Calls, presented by Battery Outfitters. Sometimes you keep them, sometimes you throw them back. But when it comes to your battery needs, the service and selection at Battery Outfitters are always keepers.
I'm going to start with a call, and my first call is whoever has kept Damon on the phone for 10 minutes in the control room.
Oh, that could be a keeper. It could be a keeper, Trey.
I thought it was somebody calling about forward-facing sonar, but
I'll have the answer to that off the air.
I got one here. You know, we all drive down to Gulf Shores. Everybody's driven down to Mississippi. You know, I mean,
family going down
Alabama.
there Saturday.
You know, Mississippi alligator weighing 801.5 pounds.
Oh, man.
And 14 feet long was harvested in the Yazoo River near Vicksburg on the opening day of Mississippi gator season. So that's a keeper. I think that's great.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a big
good one. Quick call for you, Mark. Well, this one, I probably shouldn't even get into this because it's going to open up a can of worms, but interesting story out of Outdoor Life that I ran across. Really, I think it was right after the show last week. But, you know, you familiar with Pittman Robertson and Dingle Johnson? These are the federal excise taxes paid on fishing and hunting equipment.
I thought those were the two police in Dukes of Hazzard.
No, different guys.
Okay, sorry.
And, you know, Pittman Robertson's been around since the 30s, Dingle Johnson since the 50s, but it's a huge funding mechanism for state conservation agencies. It's, you know, I don't know, Arkansas gets... It varies from year to year, but we're talking like $35 million a year. I mean, that to help, you know, operate conservation. Well, with the advent of online, you know, merchandising and retailing, there are some direct-to-consumer. It's really a bigger problem in archery equipment than it is in firearms because firearms importation is very highly regulated, and so it's kind of hard to exploit loopholes there, but there are some manufacturers of arrow shafts and things like that, you know, you buy through Amazon or Walmart.com, and so they're just kind of like a middleman, right? So that excise tax is not – somebody's ordering online at Amazon. It goes from the factory and – wherever, Asia probably, and then get shipped direct to the consumer. Well, that excise tax isn't paid. And they're thinking, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, in government terms, it's like a rounding error. But, I mean, we're talking anywhere from $8, $15, $20 million. And when you divide that among the states, it's a couple of biologists, you know, that they could hire a year, you know. So I want to call that a call. And there's been some talk about Congress maybe enacting some new legislation that will deal with it.
Because, that'll blow right through as things go up there right now.
There is a lot of bipartisan support for it. And the Government Accountability Office, the GAO, has recommended this. There's been a report, a study done on it. So anyway, keep that in mind.
And I got a call. Safe Harbor at Brady Mountain, which we've all been to Brady Mountain before, announced they will demo the original Brady Mountain Lodge. I know we've all been there before when we were kids and growing up. We've all seen it. They plan an end of an era party from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. on September 14th to revisit the site one last time. So that's
cool, man.
Yep. Now I've got a little something that
go ahead because I'm good. I've got another one, but I'm going to hold it for next week. I think
I wanted to ask. I came up with 5 or 6 little things in my head today, and I wanted to ask Ryan just to.
Are you going to rapid fire him?
I'm going to rapid. Now we don't know what to name this yet, but this segment is up for a sponsorship. So,
what were we had like some kind of name that we'd come up with.
I think we were called like "What's the Deal" or something.
What's the deal?
What's up? Or so. So anyway, all right, Ryan, what's the deal? What's your favorite bait?
I'm gonna go with the jig.
Jig.
Get up close to that mic, Ryan. There you go. You're
football or structure?
Probably just a structure jig or a flipping jig. That bite's pretty addicting when you can get on a good day.
No doubt. Favorite lake in Arkansas?
Oh. It changes with the season, but I will have to say probably Bull Shoals. It's something that I don't get to fish a lot.
Love Bull Shoals. Yeah, fun lake.
Good fishery too.
Pretty.
Best lake you've ever fished?
Ooh, probably to me the best lake to me I've ever fished historically has been Millwood. Millwood's been very good to me.
Nice. What's your favorite fish?
I have to go with smallmouth bass on that one.
There you go. What's your biggest fish?
So far, my biggest fish was a maybe a 7.5 pounder at Toledo Bend in Texas. It was a rusty old scale, so could have weighed a little more, could have weighed less.
I love that caveat that you put in there. That's great.
Yeah, we dug it out of the bottom of a boat, and it was all rusty. So.
And last but not least, but this is the most important, I think, favorite boat snack.
Clearly the most important.
There's no doubt.
Probably a foot-long Jersey Mike's sandwich.
Yes,
oh, man. Go big or go home,
I'm not
Ryan
much of a snacker. I'd rather just eat a meal
I
and be done
like
with
it. I like it.
What do you get? Do you get the Philly cheese? Is that what you get? Or do you get
not on the boat.
Italian?
I get the club sub on the
boat.
boat.
Oh, God.
Hedrick's thinking Cheetos, peanut butter crackers, sardines.
Peanut butter and honey crackers.
If I could pull chicken fajitas out of the compartment, I would. But, well, listen, that wouldn't work out.
I don't know
Have
if
you ever thought about, the size of some of these screens now for forward-facing sonar? You could probably get a grill.
Yeah. Well, the deal is, too, I mean, I don't know if you've seen how tall Ryan is, but he's born with a full set of teeth. I mean, he can eat. He's like me. There ain't much stuff that pass us by.
No, there's not.
Well, Ryan, we talked a little bit about Lake Monticello. I mean, and everybody's excited about that one coming back online after the renovation. City Monticello had to drain it and make some repairs. Game and Fish goes in, habitat. But let's talk about some other lakes in South Arkansas. I mean, Mark just kind of hit you with some and some South Arkansas lakes among those that you responded with. But what are some other places if somebody was looking to, everybody wants to go to the big core impoundments. I get it. They're big. That's where you have tournaments and stuff like that.
Yeah, they get a lot of press. And, that's the cool thing about, and I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of fisheries in my district in Southeast Arkansas that I'm not super familiar with yet. I just started my 4th week with the agency. But, there's a lot of small, I would say low-profile fisheries that are really hidden gems in the state.
People are driving to Texas and driving right by these lakes, too.
Well, the thing is people are driving to Texas and they're driving past all these lakes. But I'll tell you what, last week when I was at some of our little Bayou Bartholomew Oxbow lakes, most of the trailers were from Louisiana.
Nice.
So these guys live in Monroe and Bastrop, where Bussy Break's at,
right? And
they're passing that up, and they're coming up here to catch crappie. Lake Grampus, like we talked about earlier, is probably one of the best bluegill lakes in the state.
What about, I got to spend some time on White Oak. That's another lake that underwent a renovation probably about close to 10 years ago now. Yep. I mean, not quite, but getting there. Obviously, the Lake Conway renovation has been in the news. It's the largest, game and fish owned lake in the state. But, White Oak is it's pretty much on fire right now.
Yeah, it's pretty special. This spring they shocked, I think it was 12 and some change, largemouth out of Upper White Oak. And I don't quote me on this, but I believe it's one of the largest fish AGFC's ever shocked on their public lakes.
If you want to find out a lot of times what's going on White Oak, you can go to Mark Shatley's Facebook page.
Mark Shatley runs tournaments down there. Yeah, I went down there and we talked about it on the show, but visited with Mark. Really kind of talking to him about his experience with a lake renovation to share that story with people in Central Arkansas with Lake Conway. Mark, I mean, we were just going to shoot a little interview with him. He's like, well, let's go fishing for a couple of hours. I mean, it was 5, 6, 6.
And on the bait he builds. A lot of it's on a bait he makes.
Yeah, yep, it is. Yep, a little soft plastic.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's a great bait.
Yeah, but anyway, God. Don't sleep on White Oak, man.
No.
Don't sleep on it. It is a phenomenal.
Or any of those lakes down
there. A lot
of
good South Arkansas lakes. We'll hit Ryan up for some more recommendations when we come back from this break. Stick around. More Wildside coming up.
I'm Mark Hedrick from the Wild Side here on 103.7 The Buzz. You probably already know Edwards Food Giant as the meat people. And when I'm looking to throw a steak on the grill, my first stop is the incredible meat counter at Edwards Food Giant. Ribeyes, fillets, strips, T-bones, and porterhouses. Whatever your favorite cut, you'll find the best selection of certified Angus beef at Edwards Food Giant. Their prices are great, with weekly specials that will make your next steak dinner as affordable as it is tasty. Go see them today. Edwards Food Giant, the meat people.
It's time to hit the lakes and rivers, but before you back that boat into the water, stop by Battery Outfitters in North Little Rock, because the boat ramp is a bad place to discover a dead battery. Stephen Heron and the crew will take care of you like family and make sure you are charged up and ready to roll before you make the first cast. Bad batteries take your fish finder out of the equation, and you can't stay on the fish if your trolling motor won't turn. So take charge of your fishing fortunes with a trip to Battery Outfitters, 5915 JFK Boulevard. Trader Bill's Outdoors has the largest fishing tackle selection in the region, including the newest lures and the newest colors, as well as a wide selection of locally made lures that are proven winners on Arkansas lakes and streams. They also carry top-of-the-line rods and reels by the industry's leading companies, and they employ local anglers who are always prepared to answer your questions and set you on the path to success. Trader Bill's Outdoors, 1530 Albert Pike in Hot Springs and 12006 I-30 Frontage Road in Little Rock.
Hi, I'm Hunter Bell from Bell Chevrolet. Football season in Arkansas is one of my favorite times of the year. And I think we can all agree that game days are better with tailgating. Fourth quarters are better with game-winning field goals. And the best played games are better with teamwork. And just like on the field, Bell Chevrolet is better because of our people and their dedication to our customers. Shop Bell Chevrolet and BellChevrolet.com today. Together, let's drive.
Our goal is to provide patients with the strongest, most effective, and safest options in this exciting field of regenerative medicine.
Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
The idea that you can avoid a joint replacement is very exciting.
And that's from a surgeon who's done thousands of joint replacements, but who now believes there's a better way.
Regenerative medicine, as we understand it today, gives lasting pain relief, improved function, without surgery, without drugs.
Under Dr. Scheinkup's leadership, QC Kinetics medical professionals treat patients every day with the most advanced protocols in natural biologics. Literally tens of thousands of people all over America.
I've been doing research on regenerative medicine for 2 decades. This is the future of medicine.
Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 501-222-8440. That's 501-222-8440. 501-222-8440.
Arkansas is known for its beauty. Rolling hills, scenic fields and valleys, and beautiful rivers run through our state. We want to keep Arkansas beautiful, but we need your help. Do your part by not littering and by keeping your community clean. Register for a local cleanup or become a litter grabber to fight litter at your own pace. Your community needs you. Join us in keeping Arkansas beautiful. Visit keeparkansasbeautiful.com to learn more. This message brought to you by this station, the Arkansas Broadcasters Association, and the Keep Arkansas Beautiful Commission.
Want to get in on the conversation? Shoot us a text at the D3 Auto Sales text line at 501-614-1037. D3 Auto Sales in Desart, the #1 independent dealer in the state, with the best prices and largest selection on pre-owned vehicles, including leveled and lifted trucks. Find them on Facebook. Whether it's football, baseball, or basketball, from high school to the pros, hit us up on the D3 Auto Sales text line.
Welcome back to the Wild Side on 103.7 The Buzz. It's the All About Tire and Brake tip of the week. All about tire and brake, because you deserve hassle-free service.
I'll make this one a quick one too, but I mentioned at the top of the show, well, hunting season starts in earnest. We've got dove season opening Saturday. We've got the early archery hunt, aka the velvet buck hunt, and just want to remind folks, your tip of the week from our friends about Tire and Brake is just to make sure you got everything you're supposed to have. It is early. This is the first really time people will be out in the field, and probably a lot of folks. I mean, the archery velvet hunt is a brand new thing. Dove season's a few days later than it typically is because of the way September started on a Sunday this year. But anyway, just to make sure everything's working. Like if you're going to dove hunt, make sure you've got Harvest Information Program designation on your license. It's free, HIP registration, and if you've done it in another state. Say you went to Texas and dove hunted on Sunday when it opened at noon, because it always does, and you got your HIP, you still need to register for HIP in Arkansas. It's the way each state kind of keeps up with how many folks are pursuing migratory birds, whether that's waterfowl or doves. And, surprised me, Mark, last year, there was a Game and Fish had a new app, and a lot of people still apparently have not removed the old app and installed the new one. But if you're there, it's the functionality is not a whole lot different, but it should be a little bit easier to get to your deer tags. Just make sure, go in like one night this week before you're out in the woods and sitting on the stand with your bow on Saturday morning and looking at that velvet buck. Make sure it all works. There's a new system this year to check deer. If you check the deer on the app immediately before moving it, you don't have to have a paper physical tag on it. And the way the app works is like, even if you don't have a signal, it'll show like a pending check. So if a game warden stops you, you can show him that and you're good. Yeah. But you still do, within that 12-hour window, have to have it fully checked. So when you get back to civilization where you got a signal, just open the app long enough to where that'll upload and it'll check. So anyway, it's all about Tire and Brake Tip of the Week. Hey, before we finish up with Ryan, we had Philip on the Edwards Food Giant hotline in the first segment, but I got to give a shout out to our buddy Gary Prophet at Edwards Food Giant. Really came through for me. I needed a produce product that I had relied on another vendor in town that it usually carries.
On you.
Because Edwards doesn't necessarily usually get this product, and it's a very highly seasonal thing. And I don't want to run people. Gary did a favor, and I don't think they want to get in the habit of doing a bunch of special orders. But I didn't want to say thank you to the good folks at Edwards Food Giant for coming through for me on last week.
Hey, and I was going to, to kind of give a little backstory here. Ryan was one of the first high school fishermen that I met that was doing a really good job in high school fishing.
That was the good old days.
That was the good old days. And he went to Tech and fished on the Tech team, and Tech arguably is like going to the New York Yankees when it
for
comes
Arkansas.
to
robust fishing team.
They were incredible. Nationally everywhere. And Ryan was a part of that team, and they all did a great job. And I was talking to Ryan one day, and he said, I think I want to be a fisheries biologist. And so you took a lot of the courses there, and then you went as an intern at Arkansas Game and Fish. You got some advice from some of the guys, and what did they tell you to do, which I always thought was very interesting.
Well, they always, all the guys told me once I started there, I had to go back to grad school and get my graduate degree.
Right.
And that was something that I did not want to do.
Right.
I was sick of school after 4 years of college, but so if you know where you need to be and where you want to be, and people tell you what you need to do to get there, you should probably listen.
And that's the good part about it. These people offered him advice, and he looked at what he wanted to do and what he wanted his life. So no time like the present to go ahead and get it knocked out.
Right.
4 weeks you've been on the job.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to
training wheels.
Yeah, and throwing you to the media hounds like us, man.
And I got to tell you, he gets this. I tell people all the time, my son loves to fish, and you breed a beagle, you get a beagle. You know what I mean? You get out and you just go out, and I've got pictures of Matt and I standing on a boat together when he was little, and it's back to back, and we stand the same way. And I know you and your dad do the same thing. And you had a heck of a mentor to teach you fish, because
he was all right.
Yeah, Dennis was a dang good fisherman.
Yeah, he was. There's a lot of older guys that come into Trader Bill's and they see my name tag and go, "Are you happen to be related to so and so?"
Yeah, nice. Before we wrap things up, we mentioned Monticello, we mentioned White Oak. What are some other South Arkansas lakes down there that you'd like to call people's attention to before we get out of here tonight?
We've got Lake Chico and a 6-foot drawdown. I would say arguably for the A-tip, anybody that doesn't know, that's the program where tournaments can submit their results to AGFC. And for the last couple of years, Lake Chico has led the highest weights for the A-tip program. So it's one of the best bass lakes for weights. And
there's a pretty good crappie in there.
Oh, yeah. Everybody in Mississippi knows how good it is. I don't know if everybody in Arkansas knows it, but...
Well, Ryan, keep up the good work, and I guess welcome aboard, because it's still pretty new. And thanks for coming on the Wild Side.
We appreciate you.
Thank y'all for having me.
I'm looking up at our board here, and I'm not in the habit, Mark, of checking out the feedback on the live stream. And somebody said, "What about the squirrel cook-off?" Yes. The World Champion Squirrel Cook-Off starts at 9 a.m. at the Ozark Highlands Nature Center in Springdale. Game and Fish hosting that once again this year. You got the Velvet Buck Hunt. You got the opening day of dove season. Boy, what a great day to get outside this weekend.
No doubt.
Hey, that's all the time we've got. Thanks for tuning in. For Damon Poole and Mark Hedrick, I'm Trey Reid.
And tell your mom, your biggest fan, we said hello.
Take care, everybody. Talk to you next week.
Go Trout!
Comes around.
The last bastion of quality programming.
Why would you listen to any other radio station than 103.7 The Buzz? KABZ, Little Rock.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the American Safeguard Insurance Studio. Your hosts, Matt McJunkins and Matt Wilcox with Thomas Thrash from Hootens.com. Your source for Arkansas high school football. You're now between the mats.
Welcome to Between the Mats. I am Matt McJunkins. We are live here in the American Safeguard Insurance Studio. And, of course, I've got my man, Matty Stats Wilcox. How you doing, Matt?
I'm good, Junk. How are you, my man?
I'm doing well. And, of course, from Hootens Football, Mr. Thomas Thrash. How you doing, Thomas?
I'm doing good.
It's great to be here in week 1 of high school football here in Arkansas, a week after our first week of week 0. Had some awesome games. And a lot to talk about.
A lot to talk about. Beautiful weather for Friday night.
It was awesome.
At least it was for some of us. Yeah. I think there were some storms around.
Parts of the state, I think, had some delays.
Yeah. But great night for high school football. I think everything went pretty much to chalk. There were a few upsets, but not just a ton. And that was a pretty good catch.
That was a good catch, wasn't it? I almost spilled my drink all over everything electronic.
But, yeah, I think everything went pretty much to plan. But it's a good way to kick off high school football here in the state.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun in Greenbrier on Friday night. Saw some really good athletes. Had some really special performances on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
But just all over the state, a lot of great games. Like I say, a few upsets or some that we weren't real sure about, but some of them just like we thought.
Yeah, we found out a lot about some teams that we didn't. We had some question marks going into the season. You know, it's always interesting every year that week 0. Because, you know, high school football, especially, you know, here in Arkansas, it just changes so much from year to year.
Absolutely. Praying for the Desert community as they lost one of theirs that graduated last year in Cash Flanagan. A lot of people hurting over there. You know, Arkansas football is kind of a fraternity. You know, you always talk about coaches being kind of a fraternity, but just the football world. I mean, when one of us are hurting, we're all hurting for them. So we're praying for those guys over there as they mourn the loss of one of their Desert, you know, former players, alums. That's right.
For sure.
All right, so shout out to our sponsors, American Safeguard Insurance. You know, we appreciate those guys and all that they do. Hey, if you need insurance, and I know you do, auto, home, life, even health. We've got some a section of our company that does health, but commercial, I'm your guy. Come see me, holler at me. I'll get you fixed up. Huddle House, Manny, we had a great post-game, what do you call it, post-game show.
Yeah.
At Huddle House.